This is the moment police enter the luxury flat of a serial fraudster.
Open the door now! Right, we're from the City of London Police.
The fraudster's been living a lavish lifestyle on money stolen from vulnerable members of the public. But his fantasy lifestyle's about to come to an abrupt end, and he's heading for jail.
You've obviously been arrested. We're going to take you into Bishopsgate Police Station in the City of London.
Acting Detective Inspector Kate Duff works for a specialist police unit known as the Dedicated Card and Payment Crime Unit.
The DCPCU is a partnership between the City of London Police, Metropolitan Police and UK Finance, and we tackle organised crime groups committing fraud against the most vulnerable in our society.
The unit is funded by banks and other financial institutions.
If one of their customers are defrauded, they would call their bank. The bank would do an initial investigation and they would refer that to the DCPCU. Society has become more digital. Criminality has followed in its footsteps, and it can be a lot easier for criminals to commit crime digitally, on the phone, via text message. It removes them from the crime itself. They quite often will never see, speak to or hear from the victim and know the impact that it has on the victim.
In April 2022, Kate's team was alerted when an elderly customer reported a suspected fraud. They'd been contacted by someone claiming to be from their bank, notifying them that their account had been compromised.
This person told them that they needed to hand over their bank cards, their PIN numbers for those bank cards, and even their mobile phone. And they sent a courier around to pick up all of this.
In fact, using a courier in this way is a common trick used by fraudsters. The customer handed everything over, unaware that they'd just given the fraudster all he needed to access their bank account.
That account then was taken over by criminals, and loans were withdrawn and money spent on the account, both in person and online.
In just 1 week, the fraudster spent £50,000 on the victim's accounts.
High-value electrical goods were bought, including a large television and lots of designer goods as well. You know, really high-value clothing and bags and shoes, along with ATM cash withdrawals using the victim's card.
Police sifted through transactions and found a vital clue. The TV bought by the fraudster had been delivered to an address in East London, close to where Kate and her team were based.
That was one mistake that they made, which led us to the flat.
The luxury flat was home to this man, Adil Mohammed.
Adil Mohammed was living in a lavish flat in Canary Wharf, which was funded by criminal money, other people's money that he'd stolen.
Open the door now!
Inside, police found crucial evidence, including the TV purchased using money belonging to his elderly victim.
What's the rent on this place?
Mohammed told police the flat belongs to a friend, and he's staying there rent-free.
What's your friend's name? Francesco. That's very generous, seeing as these apartments are about £4 a month.
Adil Mohammed had leased the flat using fake ID, which was found during a search of the premises.
We found images of fraudulent ID documents which he would have used to help him commit fraud. So in this instance, there is a passport in the name of Ahmed Hassania with Adil Mohammed's face on it. And we know that Adil was using this ID to assist with the leasing of the flat that he was staying in.
Police also found £100,000 in cash and designer goods valued at £180,000.
Adil Mohammed was living a lavish lifestyle, had no want for money, clothes, anything he wanted, he would have it because none of it was his money, and he was using members of the public's money to fund a lifestyle that most of us can only dream of.
Police seized 3 mobile phones, which were examined by digital forensics experts. The phones contained vital evidence, including details belonging to hundreds of potential victims.
Finding the compromised data was a great breakthrough for the case and secured the suspect's charge, but also it enabled us to safeguard accounts to make sure that those members of the public were safeguarded and didn't fall victim to fraud by this suspect or any other suspect.
The phones also contained screenshots of victims' bank accounts and photos of receipts for expensive purchases using victims' money.
Here we can see on the 29th of March 2022, with one payment we've got nearly £6,000 debiting the victim's account, followed almost immediately by another £2,658 payment. There had also been a fraudulent spend at a jeweller's for nearly £20,000, and there was a photograph of the receipt from that transaction on his device.
In total, Adil Mohammed committed fraud to the value of £280,000. He pleaded guilty and was jailed for 2.5 years.
It felt great to safeguard the public and to get justice for the person who had been defrauded.
Proceeds of crime proceedings are ongoing to pay back Mohammed's victims.
That we reap as much money back as we can from that crime to restore to the people who deserve and need it. That's why we do what we do, to protect the most vulnerable in our society and to bring offenders to justice. It's obviously completely unacceptable that you take things that aren't yours, that you target and hurt people who are vulnerable in society, and that you do that for your own gain and benefit. It's just not right.